Yeah, it's just amazing.
Yay. So tell me a little bit about what Face Yoga Australia is all about, and how did you get into it? How did you start, and how long have you been going?
Okay, so face yoga is something most people are not familiar with, but it became more popular, especially in the last 2 years worldwide. It's essentially a natural way to lift your face. So in face yoga, we're using the muscles in the face. We have over 60 muscles in the face. We train them and we do a lot of body correction as well as conscious breathing, through which we then achieve a much useful looking face and a lift. And it's really remarkable how precise you can work and what you can do. We have over 90 poses. So it's just really incredible. So my business, Face Yoga Australia, is offering, like to neutral gender to everyone, face yoga classes, workshops, or personal coaching programs. I do corporate events, and it's just absolutely incredible.
And how do you run it? Do you run it online or in person, or both?
I do both. So specifically in the last 2 years, it was amazing. Everything went online naturally. I had already an online part, so it was very easy to transit into the total online business. But I also run courses and sessions in person, which just now started again. The first one will be actually in March. So it's really fantastic, because there's a whole lot of people who are not used to Zoom, love to do that in person. So there will be a new program again, but otherwise everything online. So it's always live. Yeah, like live classes. And I think I'm the only one who offers live face yoga classes.
Wow. So where do your customers or clients come from that work with you?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I mean, it's Australia-wide. Like I do have, because of the Zoom, I have the ability to connect with people from Sydney and Melbourne and Perth, and, like really Australia-wide, which is wonderful. Yeah, it opened a whole new portal through that. But even, like I get people from New York City, or, like from the US. I think the most exotic one came from Papua New Guinea. So it's a very broad audience. And because I had been the speaker at the US Face Yoga Summit, so now I get also clients from America.
How incredible. So Vanamala, how did you get into face yoga? Was it a natural transition from body yoga, or what happened? How did you come about finding face yoga?
Yeah, no, it was completely different. So my background is, I'm a physiotherapist, but it had nothing to do with how I found face yoga. Really, it was a personal journey. Like I, woke up one day and said, oh my God, I'm really aging fast right now. I want to do something. And funnily enough, the first thing was, oh, maybe I need some, fillers or this or that, the other. I even had a little appointment with a beautician. And then I thought, no, I really don't want that. It's not my path. I want to stay natural. And I think 2 or 3 days later, a friend spoke to me. I had at the same time some problems with my neck. However, she actually said, look, I don't know if you're interested in that, but basically I signed up for this face yoga course, and guess what? My long-term neck problem got solved. And then I thought, wow, it's perfect. Yeah, like the timing was perfect to just say, I want to do something for looking younger, and I definitely want to fix my neck problem. And that's how I started face yoga.
So that's a really interesting switch, isn't it? From even booking an appointment to look at potential, and what would you call it, interventions or something in a less natural way. So then how long did it take for you, once you started face yoga, before you started noticing a difference to your face and decided, I don't need those fillers or that Botox anymore?
Yeah, so it was actually quite remarkable. So I signed up for a short course, which was about 28 days. Yeah, like a jump start. And really after the 2 or 3 weeks, you could see a difference. You could see right away a difference. And it was just remarkable. Look, and I was already quite a bit over 50. So it's not the age. It was really interesting to see that, you know, you can actually work on your face, similar as if you go into a gym and you do exercises and suddenly your whole body reshapes itself. And that was exactly the same experience. So I was thrilled. Yeah, like was like, wow, that's fantastic. And there's another option.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's incredible. I haven't personally gone down the road of anything in my face. It's kind of it's a tricky one for me because my husband's paralyzed. So the idea of doing something to paralyze my muscles by choice is so far removed from what would feel okay for me. But I know for others, it's something that they couldn't live without. And what I've noticed is that they're becoming younger and younger and younger when they're actually doing it. I was speaking to someone the other day who said she started getting her eyes done at 32. I was like, have you even got a wrinkle or a line at 32? She said, no, it's so important to get it done beforehand. So I guess, before you even start getting those lines. So I guess then the next question to you would be, how young do you recommend people would start face yoga? So is it before they even start to get the jowls and the wrinkles and things?
Look, of course, it's great if they start really early, because if you know, like, and you train your muscles, then you can avoid that it actually happens for sure. And I have just recently, it's actually interesting that you asked that. I had a client and she came actually from the US, and her mom had showed her, she was now in her 30s, and her mom had showed her face yoga. So she was very familiar with that from a young age, and you could see it. Yeah, like it was really interesting. But of course, it's not a prerequisite that you start early. Of course not. Like I have many, many clients over 50, over 60, and they have fabulous results. So it's like, it's not like, oh my God, I'm way too old, I can't do it anymore. That's one question many people ask. And no, it's not. My oldest client was 82. And she came because of droopy eyelids, and she avoided through this surgery because the droopy eyelids actually really irritated her vision, So it was fantastic to see that, that she opted for an alternative.
So you were one of our VIP speakers a few months ago in the group, and you took us through some exercises. And I have to say, a couple of things really surprised me. Number one, I've never laughed so much. And I just felt that it was so joyful. There was some really funny positions we're getting ourselves in. So it felt silly, but it felt good. And it was incredible joy. I absolutely loved doing it. And I loved doing it online too, because there we were, in our cute little Brady Bunch boxes, all doing the same thing, but our own variations of it. And it was so much fun. So that part of it, that really surprised me about actually how fun it was. The other part that surprised me was how hard it was. Who would think that just moving your face around, but isolating different parts and focusing on what you're doing, how you're moving it. Wow, that was such an eye-opener to me. Yeah. I really thought there's so much more to it than I think anyone could imagine.
Absolutely. And it's true, like the fun bit is actually something that is something which really prompted me to learn to become a face yoga teacher, because it touched my heart. Yeah, like you laugh a lot, and it's a beautiful transformation, because really the face is such an important part. And once you start doing something in the face, it does something with your emotions. It's like really, if you start smiling, yes, there's a chemical reaction in the body, and it will change something. And I saw it last night. I had a class, and I had two people who were quite tired and exhausted and stressed from the day. And I could see them really change throughout this 1 hour. At the end, they said, oh, that was so good. Like I had so much headaches and this and that and the other. And it was so beautiful to see, especially with these two people, where you could see it in the face, how tired they were. So that's a wonderful one. We make many funny faces, basically, And of course, we are not used to use our facial muscles with awareness, unless you're a mime or something like that. So it's like a new exploration. What can I do? How does it work? How can I actually avoid certain movements, not to always, for example, frown and stuff like that. So it's all about awareness and exploration. And it gives you an enormous power. Yeah, like you can choose how you smile. You can actually do so much with your face.
It's just incredible. And obviously you must get people saying to you regularly how incredible you look. But yeah, it's always amazing me. And then one day you mentioned how old you were, and I was like, goodness me, it's a dream that we would all look like you. And I think that you're the best advertisement for your business. Incredible.
Well, like I really, really love what I do. It's such a nice thing to do. And the great thing is, you know what? I do the exercises with everyone in the class. So I get the benefit as well to do the exercises, so it's lots of fun. It's really lovely.
Oh, that's so wonderful. What do you love most about running your own business?
I have been self-employed for at least 20 years or more. And what I love is the freedom to organize my own time, to be creative, the freedom to expand or explore new avenues. I absolutely love that. In fact, it would be very hard for me, I think, to think suddenly to be employed. So it's a different story. Of course, you take the risk, but it's an adventure, and I love adventure. I've done many adventures in my life. And so I really like that, like to see, I have a new idea. Well, I can try it out because it's up to me. Yeah. So I don't have to try to get permission to do it or whatever. So for me to have the freedom of time management, but also, like to explore what I want to do, that actually is the best. And I live in an area where a lot of people don't have necessarily jobs. It's the most beautiful place in Australia, but there are not many jobs. So to create your own job and be your own boss, it's absolutely fabulous. I love it.
What part of Australia are you based in, Vanamala?
In northern New South Wales, very close to Byron Bay, a small town, Mullumbimby, which I guess by now is quite known because many people moved here. It's just so special. And I totally love it. I moved here 25 years ago from overseas. I come originally from Germany, and I love it. It's my home.
Fantastic. So for those just starting out in business, at any age or stage in their life, what's one top tip that you would be able to share with people that they would take on board when they're just starting?
Trust yourself. That's definitely one really big one. Yeah, like if you have an idea what you want to do, it's also good to be very rational and check it out. Is there the market for that there, or is it maybe an avenue you give your full attention, but it's actually not happening because there's no market? So it's a good one too. That's a real, analytical thing to look at that. What's my market? Whom do I want to get into my business? It's a practical thing. But on the other hand, I must say, most of my things I did in my life, I did it because my heart told me so. So like I'm very strongly coming from that as well. And it has always given me enormous, endurance in trying out, and also, to fail and stand up again, but trust what you want to do. And it's amazing what comes. It's like manifesting a bit. Yeah, like the moment you put out what you really want to do, you're very clear about it, it's coming into your life.
Gosh, that's so important, isn't it? Trust yourself. I think that couldn't be a better piece of wisdom that you could have shared there, because there's so much we can do. There's so much flooding at us, especially if you've got an idea, whether it's a service-based or a product-based business. You've got this idea, but then the amount of info and the amount of advice just coming at you from all different places. And then for you to say, just trust yourself, that's super, super powerful. I really love that. So thanks for sharing that one. I'm going to sit and ponder that one. I love it. I think it's actually a blog post that I need to write. Maybe we could collab on that.
Yeah,
that would be a good one.
It's really funny because I shared something today, and I think it's like, like to listen, to just pick it when, when an idea comes, or if you have this strive, you want to do that. I saw that time and time again in my life. If I follow that in that moment, and I'm not saying, oh no, that can't be, or I don't want to do that, who knows, like not to listen to these voices, but to follow that. It's incredible, and I get goosebumps. It's a good sign. So like, it's incredible what is actually given to you to follow that path.
Just beautiful. I really love that. Thank you. So Vanamala, you're obviously part of the Positive Passionate Businesswomen Huddle, and you've been, one of our beautiful guest VIP speakers. So I'd love to know, what is it that you love about being part of a group such as this?
Look, it's the support, being in business, and we are all having different businesses, and it's so beautiful. We are coming from being, self-employed, so there's already a big understanding what that means and what comes with it, in marketing. And my God, I have learned so much from you in regards to marketing. It's just big thank you to you. It's like amazing, yeah. But like, so this particular group, I think there's such a support. And it's just amazing what you're offering, like the way you are actually getting the people in and getting them engaged and getting them, like to continue and follow or try something new. It's remarkable. It's really remarkable. I'm a total fan. Yeah, like it's fantastic. You have done so much for me just by sharing your wisdom and being so incredibly generous. So this group is fantastic. I love it. Every time we come together, it's like, oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It's always a good time, having a good time and having fun and still learning something.
Oh, Vanamala, thank you for those wonderful words. I totally agree that it's so fun. And I always look forward to it. And then I'm always uplifted and I laugh through it. And it's just such a beautiful way to connect, isn't it? It's just, and there's always different women every time. We've got this core group, but of course not everyone can make it every month. And so it's this beautiful ebb and flow of women arriving and, in different months. And it's just a wonderful thing to be part of.
And they really come from everywhere. So it's kind of, like I met people suddenly from close to Orange or this or that, like yesterday I had an hour together with Julie on Zoom, just talking about life. And it was such a beautiful thing. It would have never happened if it wouldn't have been for this group to meet through this and to just also get especially inspired by everyone's ideas in businesses. Yeah, like it's incredible what a variety of businesses are there.
Absolutely. And I really feel like the crux of it all is that we're all about connecting, collaborating, growing together, supporting each other, and we're leaving all the competing at the door. There's no need for any of that kind of, and women in particular can be a little bit like that. And I just feel like we don't have any of that. So it's just a really generous and abundant space.
Yes, it's really fantastic. I love it. Yeah, because, and again, I think it's also something when you can come together like that, you really can share also, if something doesn't work so well and maybe some other person has an input or has some idea, what you can do. So it's beautiful to have this sounding board as well.
Absolutely. Well, we just love having you as part of the Positive Passionate Businesswomen Huddle. And also we just loved having you as a speaker. That was wonderful. So thanks so much for being part of all that. And thank you very much for talking with me tonight and sharing a little wee bit of your journey. And I really look forward to doing this again sometime soon and sharing a bit more. So for those of you that would like to connect with Vanamala, all the details will be in the caption. You'll be able to find Face Yoga Australia website, her socials, and this, of course, once our recording's finished, will be loaded up onto YouTube and up onto the podcast. So thanks, Vanamala. It's just been a treat to spend some time with you.
Thank you so much for interviewing me. That was fantastic to have this podcast. Thank you. What an opportunity.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, and thanks everyone for listening. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. And Vanamala, have a lovely night. Thanks. Bye-bye.